Hello. What am I going to say? What am I going to say? A couple things are happening in the month of May, but first, we have a canine episode for you on the Drywall Podcast. Yep, this one is going to the dogs. I am your host, Nick Harmon. With us today, we have a legend in the house, Lydia Crowder, aka Drywall Shorty, graces the Drywall Podcast with her presence and her second appearance since the Drywall Podcast's inception. Her first episode was all the way back on episode 15 over 2 years ago. We talk about where her journey has gone since then. Over the last 2 years, social media, and growing her Facebook page to over 1 million followers. What? How is that even possible? We talk about her relationship with the Build Show and how that relationship works.
This was Joey. So Joey's not with Build Show anymore, but Joey reached out. He's like, "We want you to join Build Show," and I'm like, "Okay."
Joey saw the talent.
Joey did see the talent. Yep. And I think how it happened is I had just filmed for MT Copeland. I had just done that course, and one of the guys with MT
What's NT Copeland? Sorry.
It's MT, so M as in
MT.
MEMS. Yeah. I did a whole drywall series for them. God.
What is that?
4 or 5 years ago. It's an online course that you can take. So they have how to read blueprints.
Okay.
There's a painting course.
We do a deep dive into that relationship with the Build Show, but we also talk a lot about the tools and which tools she actually prefers. We get into the texture conversation and how Montana and Colorado seem to be very similar. And we talk about the differences between using stainless versus spring steel. All of that wonderful information and much, much more on this interview. Whoa, we are crossing over the 3-year mark of the Drywall Podcast. I keep thinking it was 2 years, but no. The very first episode teaser was released in May of 2022, and it sounded a little something like this. Hello, and welcome to the Drywall Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Harmon. I've been in and around the drywall industry for more than 20 years. I've worked in the union, finished piece rate, and worked hourly with many different companies and people spanning the West Coast and beyond. The Drywall Podcast will be exploring the world of drywall and interviewing the professionals that make it happen. Man, seems like just yesterday. You can hear the baby face emanating from that audio so long ago. May holds a special place in my heart, and not only because it's the Drywall Podcast's anniversary, it also happens to be my birthday month on a personal level, but the most exciting thing is that I'm extremely excited to announce our newest sponsorship for the month of May, TAPE-TECH. This is the first time TAPE-TECH has sponsored the Drywall Podcast, and I'm very excited to announce some ultra cool stuff they've been working on and maybe interviewing some badasses from their crew. All right, here we go. If you haven't seen it yet, TAPE-TECH just dropped something really cool and innovative. It's called the T-RAXX taping tool rack system. That's T-RAXX. Have you ever opened your van only to watch your taper slide out and smack the pavement? Let's talk about a better way to carry your tools around. It's time to meet the T-RAXX. This is the first and only rack system made specifically for ATF tools, and it's built by TAPE-TECH. Okay, all right. So I'm saying all of that to say this. Basically, it keeps your entire ATF setup organized. But no more digging around for your flusher or worrying about your taper rolling out of the back of the truck. The 14-piece T-RAXX system is built for versatility. You can take it from your shop to your van to the job site, and you won't miss a beat. It includes racks, trays, clamps, and mounting rails to securely hold your large and small tools, with dedicated space for your drills, lubricants, and cleaning accessories. This system is exclusive to Tape Tech and available through AMES, Allwall, and West Tech. The rack system is just $149.99. Are you out of your mind? And when paired with the stack pack boxes, you've got the most customizable pro-grade storage solution on the market. It's pretty cool. If you're carrying ATF tools, you should be carrying them with the T-RAXX. Bottom line, end of story. But for now, you know her, you love her. Lydia Crowder, aka Drywall Shorty, on the 130th episode of the Drywall Podcast. Let's get into it.
Hi, Nick.
There she is.
Hold on. Okay, there we go.
We got it.
Got it. I always have it on mute, and I always forget, and then I get on Zoom, and then I can't hear anything.
Yeah. Some people do different platforms for podcasting. I like Zoom. It's easy.
Yeah, it is. Everybody uses it. It's simple.
Yeah. It doesn't do any editing or there's no fancy bells and whistles, but it works pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
You had a busy morning.
Yes. I had to take my son to school. He was running behind, and then I came home, the door was open, and the dogs, and I have the house on the market, so I'm trying to keep it super clean, and I'm just like,
house on the market. How is that going in today's climate?
Yeah, I feel like it is. I mean, let's see, we put it on the market Tuesday, and then we had a showing on Sunday. But we're a little bit out of town. We're about 15 minutes outside of Bozeman, and they felt like it was too far out for them, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay. All right. We have the great Lydia Crowder, aka Drywall Shorty. Just perusing down the timeline of the Drywall Podcast, September 22nd was when your first episode aired, 2022. Yeah, 2.5 years.
Holy cow. I can't believe it's been that long.
I know. Episode 15. So,
wow. Oh my God, you had just started. Wow.
Yeah. And you are your episode 1. This is 130 will be when it drops.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty, tenacity. We're tenacious.
Yes. 130, really? 130. Do people reach out to you to want to be on, or do you try and do like multiple segments with people, or?
More so now, yeah, people will reach out, but what I'm finding is that they're less reluctant because maybe they've heard of the Drywall Podcast, or earlier on getting people to come on the podcast, they were more reluctant. So you were, it was big to have Drywall Shorty on the podcast early on. I think, I don't know if it helped bolster listenership or anything like that. I think I was just trying to still get my sea legs about me.
Oh, yeah.
But this podcasting thing, it's a much more challenging, broader thing, I think, than people maybe think. It's really hard. It's really hard. So I've gotten better at it, but it's still hard. You got to schedule the person, then you have to do the podcast, then you have to edit the podcast, then you have to advertise for the podcast. And I try to drop one a week, which is very ambitious.
Yeah,
so
that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. But it's been great. I mean, talk about a way to inject myself into this industry, whether people like it or not. They just,
Yeah.
I'm in. I'm in there.
Yeah, no, I like it. I love it.
Do you listen to some of the podcasts occasionally? Do you catch one or two here? Maybe there's somebody of interest to you. You'll be like, oh, I'll catch that one.
Yeah, sometimes. I'm not a huge podcast listener.
Yeah.
I find it hard to focus on what on the podcast and then focus on what I'm doing. So I tend to, if I'm going to listen to a
Okay.
podcast, I sit and just listen to the podcast. But
Okay.
sometimes finding an hour or two to do that when I have nothing else going on isn't the easiest. So
Right.
it
Yeah.
depends.
So you wouldn't put a podcast on the job if you're working, you wouldn't
No,
throw up. Okay. You,
no, it's
what do you,
always chat.
what does Drywall Shorty listen to when she's crushing it on the job?
Oh, that depends on the day.
Really?
Sometimes, yeah, yeah, definitely. So for texturing, definitely like classic rock stuff we can sing along to,
Okay.
80s, 70s, 60s, that sort of stuff. If I'm by myself and I have a lot to get done, sometimes it's EDM or it'll be, like hard rock, like Sleep Token,
Oh,
Tool, um,
Tool.
yeah,
Okay.
Slipknot.
All right. I was listening to Tool yesterday.
Nice. I love Tool.
Funny story. I was on doing fresco and like I should have finished on Sunday. I should have just went in on Easter and like finished because you know how like Monday it's like everyone's up your ass at the job
Yeah.
site. I got 4 hours to like seal this little stuff and get out of there. Like, I don't like to, I'm a prima donna. I don't like to be on the job. Everybody's in my way and they're pouring concrete in the front of the house.
Yes.
Of course, the day that I load out, they're pouring concrete.
Of course,
So I
yes.
have to go all the way around. So the painters are in there redoing beams, and my strategy is I try to be nice to everybody, like over the top nice, because like you can get things that way. Like
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I like to be nice anyways, but if you're a dick
Yeah.
on the job, it's not going to get you anywhere. Like
No, never. It never gets you anywhere. No.
so the guy was really nice. He was a Christian dude. Like nothing against Christians or anything like that, but he had like his Christian music like blaring. Earbuds are in. I'm listening to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
hard Tool. Like he's like nicest guy. We talking, and he's like, "Do you like this music?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm more of a devilly music type of guy." I don't know why I said that, but it was the funniest thing. Like to me, I was like laughing
Yeah.
internally, because like I don't care, and I'm not really a devilly person, but like
No, no, that's all right.
sometimes with music, yeah, it's like Sabbath. I gotta listen to like
Yeah.
Sabbath or like Ozzy. It's like
Yeah.
sometimes the
It totally
devil
depends on what I got
speaks
to
to
get
me.
done. Yeah. I know. What's funny, there's a funny story. I was in high school and my mom was mad at me about something, and I had a Slipknot CD. It was back, when you do like the CD orders from Columbia and you get all the CDs, and I had,
Slipknot's kind of next level. Like Tool's
yeah,
here, Slipknot's like
Slipknot's over
a little
there.
more. It's not
You know
quite
what?
like thrash metal, but it's getting
Yes,
there.
it's getting there. It's getting close.
Yeah.
I had the CD and it was in my car, and my mom got mad at me and she threw it away because it had like a devil goat on it. So she said, and she's
Yeah.
like, "You can't listen to that music." Anyway,
Yeah.
funny story. I had a Shania Twain CD in it. She thought she threw away my Slipknot CD, but she did not. She threw away Shania Twain.
Innocent little Shania Twain.
I know. I
Now,
was like, "Well, you
I
didn't throw away my
I
Slipknot
was
CD."
also listening to Dolly Parton yesterday. So
Oh, nice.
I'll
Yeah.
go from
All
one end of the spectrum to the other. I love
listen to
Dolly.
country too. Yes.
Now,
Just,
new country,
I know,
but
right? I don't like it as much.
I like the old
Sounds good.
country.
I like the
Yeah.
old stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Waylon Jennings.
Willie, Waylon. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Willie.
bet.
Yeah.
Man, we digress quick. I like it. I
Mhm.
like it. There was a couple of things that I wanted to talk about, but like there's a lot that's happened with Drywall Shorty in the last few years. Going through a lot of changes as we all do. We've gotten to know each other. I think
Yeah.
when we first interviewed, I didn't hadn't met you, and
No,
so
no.
we've got our paths have crossed a few times, and you're just a beautiful person. Like so I love it when we get to hang out and talk, and we've talked like intimately a couple times, and it's great.
Yeah.
I think maybe there's a misconception about Drywall Shorty because you've had success around social media and all of this. We have preconceived notions of who people are, but in reality, Drywall Shorty is just an amazing human, and Thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. I don't know where we're going to go. I have some ideas, but let's dig in a little bit. One thing, well, let's talk about because you've recently crossed over 1 million followers on Facebook, I
I
saw,
know, I know.
and that's pretty impressive. So when you get to the million mark, you had, and then also YouTube as well. So when I was looking at my notes from last time, you had 100,000 followers on YouTube. So
Yeah.
that number's probably in the stratosphere now. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm actually, that's one of those platforms I really need to focus on more, and it's hard. I think the hardest thing is when you have so many platforms and you're trying to keep up with everything, you just kind of get
Yeah.
overwhelmed. Yeah, that one's at
Yes.
200 and about 246,000.
Okay. Yeah. Peanuts.
Well, it's
I
weird
think I have
because
100. My
I think
Fresco
people,
Harmony page, I have like 100 people. And I don't know. And I'm not like good at like the monetization. I
oh,
talked with Steve with the three-way. He's like,
yeah,
Nick, you got to blah, 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 do all this stuff. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do that. And then I don't do it. And I post, but it's so hard to
mhm,
do it all. Like
yeah.
I need a social media liaison that's really good at social media that I can take my content and like ramp it or something.
Exactly, yeah, because I do all my own stuff. And if someone's
Okay.
commenting, it's me, but I feel like I cannot keep up. Facebook, I usually will do like a Q&A every 2 weeks because
I
sometimes the
like
comments
those.
on those videos are like, I can't answer everybody. And I'm not going to sit there for 3 hours at night and go through my Facebook comments. So, like on a
Okay.
Saturday, I'll sit down and I'll be like, okay, I'm around for like 3, 4 hours. I'm going to answer every question that pops up. Hit me with your questions. And then
Okay.
people get mad though, because then they'll be like, well, I asked you a question the last one and you didn't answer it. And I'm like, guys, I'm trying to keep up. Like
Yeah.
sometimes there's 50 questions in a minute. And I'm like, I have a limited amount of time. I'm
Whoa.
giving my time for this amount. I will answer what I can. If I can't get to you, try again. And I don't
Right.
answer my DMs on there.
Sure. Sure. So you still have like the haters or just people that are impatient or mean. Like when you get to these types of like stratosphere numbers, you can't help but to like just shut off like the part of your brain that cares about like stupid bullshit.
That's the biggest thing I could say is, that's what I've learned. It used to really bother me. I used to be like, man,
Hmm.
this person's like a freaking idiot and like get all
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
irritated about it. And now I'm just like, whatever. Like you finish your way,
Yeah.
I'll finish my way.
Yeah.
Process.
Yeah.
Um,
And
it,
we all know that Drywall Shorty's way is the right way. I don't
you
know.
know
I don't
what?
know if
It's not the right way always.
I don't know
It's
if
just
a
the
lot of
way.
people I don't know if a lot of people are aware, but Drywall Shorty, that's it. It's end all, beat all to how to do drywall.
Oh God, there's
Um,
so much I don't know. I used to learn a lot from other people too, from comments. I'll be like, you know what? I
yeah,
didn't think about doing it that way, or
yeah,
yeah, it might be
yeah.
more efficient that way.
Social media, I like that conversation. What one thing that interests me about Lydia, and maybe our listeners as well, is this whole build relationship.
Yeah.
So I think I'm curious about build. So now they're having a show like down
Hmm.
in Texas, right?
Yep.
Like, so I wouldn't be inclined to doing the AWCI show. I don't know if that's a good like ROI, return on investment for a vendor like myself. Like I
Yeah, it's
would
kind
be,
of a tricky show.
it's a tricky show. Maybe farther along down the line. Maybe if I'm like, doing 1 billion in sales per year, I would do the
Yeah,
AWCI
yeah.
show just to have a meet and greet. But like this build show does interest me. And there it's fairly new, correct? And you go to
Yes.
that show. You support
So
that.
last year was the first year. It
Okay.
was
All
in
right.
Austin. And then I taught, let's see, I did a drywall 101 class. Sorry, Ava's tails in there. Every time I'm on a podcast, she's got to come over and get her booty in there.
You were
Um,
petting a dog on the last podcast. I
yeah,
assume it's the same dog.
same dog.
Okay.
If I'm sitting here, she's got to come over and get
Hmm.
scritches. Um,
Now,
yeah,
since, sorry, real quick, since
no,
the last episode, I wasn't putting the whole episode on YouTube, so this will be so a lot of people might want to come and watch this episode. So you'll be able to listen on YouTube, but you'll also be able to watch this episode.
Nice.
Austin, build.
Yes. Yeah. So last year was the first year. I did a main stage teaching on Drywall 101. So I
Okay.
put together a presentation for the show in Brazil for AMES, I think is how you say it. So I used that same presentation, just tweaked it a bit, but kind of ran through, the different drywall levels, the tools we use, the different compounds, just kind of like
Yeah,
really like this is what drywall is.
sure.
Did that, and then I did another class with Stephanie, Stephanie Daly. She's awesome, and we talked about trade collaborations, better ways because she's a general contractor. So we kind of had a classroom session where we talked about how we can help trades communicate better and some things that we've done individually on site that helps communication flow, helps everybody get along, helps, kind of just the job progress forwards. So it's an
Sure.
interesting show.
Can you give an example of one tip that might help, like, say, the drywall trade communicate with the framing trade?
Yeah, definitely. So a big thing is walk the job before you start hanging. If you notice there's missing backing, if you notice, maybe there's a stud that's like way out of whack, if you need
Yeah,
something like just communicate because they don't know. They're just doing the framing. They're probably just running off plans and everybody's pushed. You know how jobs are. It's get
yeah,
in, out. So, or just walk it beforehand and be like, if you keep seeing the same problem happening with the framing crew, just gently bring it up. Like, hey guys, we're having some problems, with this section or this area, and it's kind of been consistent over the past couple houses. Could you please take 5 minutes and just do a little bit extra here? Or can you make sure you watch for this next time? There's just simple things. There's easy ways to communicate with each other.
yeah. But so being nice too, that's a big one.
Yeah,
Would you get
don't.
any pushback earlier on? You probably have good relationships with the subs and contractors that you work with nowadays. Would you get pushback because you're a female, like back in the day? Did that happen in your sphere?
A little bit. I was always working with guys that knew me really well and were very respectful, so
Right.
they'd always kind
Okay.
of stand up for me. Or
All
it
right.
was because I worked for my dad, and then my dad had a crew of probably about 6 guys at the time. So, I was the boss's daughter, but they all treated me, just like anybody else. I didn't get any special treatment.
Yeah,
I still had to do all the same stuff. Sorry, I have dog hair on my face.
that's
Um,
right.
she's really shitty. She's a German Shepherd and she's very shitty. Um,
Yeah. I'm not cutting it out.
I know that's fine.
I'm
It's
leaving it
part of
in.
it. It's part of it. She has to come over and throw dog hair everywhere.
What's her name?
Ava.
Lift her up. Let's see Ava.
Oh, she's on the couch now.
She's on the couch. She's done. She got a rub. She's out.
Yep. Yeah, she got
Yeah.
hair all over me and then she's out.
Stuff goes airborne.
Seriously, it's everywhere. But yeah, it was great. I worked, my cousin at the time worked for my dad, and then his best friend, who was Zach, also worked for my dad, and then Zach and I were roommates. And sadly, he passed away. When was that? I think it was last winter. He fell off a roof and broke his neck and died.
How old was he? Sorry.
Let's see. I think he was 45.
40. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
he's young.
horrible.
Yeah, he
Smaller
was,
town, smaller area too, like yours. It's probably very, maybe more impactful.
yeah. Yeah, we'd known each other, since I was like 15,
I'm
14.
sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to
Yeah,
hear
he
that.
was a good guy. His wife, um, I don't know how she's doing, but they were married for a long time. She was a sweetheart. They were a sweet couple.
Yeah. Yeah. Were they married when he passed?
Yeah, they were. Yeah. Yeah,
How's
he
she
was at
doing?
the parents' house.
She,
I'm not sure. I haven't really talked to her. She reached out a while ago looking for somebody to do some drywall patches because
yeah.
Zach used to do that stuff. So,
Yeah.
but
Maybe reach out.
yeah,
Maybe
definitely, yeah.
reach out and give her a check on her. Any kiddos over there?
Nope. No, no, they don't have
No.
any kids.
All right. All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
This
anyway, it was a good environment.
Yeah, this life is fleeting. Don't take it for granted. We talk a lot in the first episode with Lydia about episode 15 about your history, how you came up in the trade. I wanted to focus a little bit more on. I want to flesh this build thing out a little more. So,
Yeah.
who runs build? It's
So Matt has build. That's Matt Reisinger build. Then there's build show, which is totally different entity from build. So build show has a CEO and then he manages all of that side of it. So we
okay.
all are contributors to build show network.
So he created a maybe build show.
Yes.
But
Well,
there's
build show
maybe he
network.
has two companies.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
Matt.
So there's build and then there's build show network, which is where we all do our weekly videos and contribute. So Build Show Live is off of Build Show Network because everybody that contributes to Build Show Network presents at Build Show Live.
Okay. Okay.
That makes sense?
It's a little confusing. It's a little
Yeah.
confusing, but like I get it. I get it. So the Build Show Network puts on
Yeah.
this large show. They did the first
Yes.
one last year. That's cool. What was the success level of that show? Would you say pretty successful? A lot of people.
Yeah, it was very successful actually. I think it did way better than they thought. Informa is the one that puts it on. And Informa
Okay.
does like World of Concrete. They do the
Okay.
International Builder Show. So what's cool about Build Show Live is it's a lot. It's not as busy. Like it's smaller. It's a smaller show, but you come there to be informed. You come there to learn from Steve Basic, who's an architect. You come there to learn from other general contractors how they're running their businesses. You come, to get really specialized information on how to be a better builder. And there's a lot of scientific information. It's definitely more high level. It's not just you come in and walk around some booths. It's you come in, you get educated on products, you sit
Right.
down, you watch an education session, you see a live demo. It's
It's
kind
very
of,
cool.
yeah, it's like a more
I want to
educated
do it.
show. Yeah.
I want to do it. I think it'd be
Yeah, I can
cool.
get you, I can
Yeah.
get you in touch with everybody.
Yeah. Give me some
I think
information on
Dallas
that.
is here
It's
in
in
October.
Dallas. Very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I can drive that one.
Oh, nice.
Um, how did you get involved with this group? Was it, and this was before Build Show Network, so this was just sort of Matt Reisinger. Maybe he was doing, growing his social media presence. And then he reached out to you. So I know that my limited knowledge, Drywall Shorty will do advertising or videos for companies, but that goes through Build. So this is interesting. This is just interesting to me how influencers can leverage or monetize their visibility. And maybe you can shed some light if other people are moving into the influencer segment of social media, or if they aspire to move into that realm that you're in.
Yeah, I would say the influencer stuff, I think people think you make a lot of money. There's not
Right,
that much. I mean, there is,
right.
but there isn't. I mean, um,
And
my
wait, this is from Drywall Shorty people. Like, so if you're going into the influencer world to like seek your fortune,
it's not
maybe
going to
maybe
happen.
throw up a caution. Just
Yeah,
caution.
for sure. And I think what's important is people have to realize like when you start working with companies, there are very specific things that you have to say. They're very particular about how their product is, which is totally understandable. I get that. But sometimes it's hard because you are trying to hit target marks that they have set up for you. Still trying to be authentic. You're still trying to keep it light and keep it natural, but it can be really hard sometimes because you're having to be very corporate. So finding that mix between and do something and they're like, well, we wanted you to do more of this. And I'm like, well, do you want me to be me or do you want me to be what you guys want me to be? And I think I was looking through some old photos on Google Photos after I hit a mill. I was like, a mill is crazy. So I kind of went back and looked at like old stuff from like 6, 7 years ago. And I was like, I need to get back to having more fun with it. You kind of get to
Ah,
where the numbers I'm at are insane. Like it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. And I feel like I
Yeah.
do have to present myself a certain way because I am both for the trade, but then I also still want to have fun. Like it's still hard work. It's construction. It's it's I want to be goofy. I still want to be relaxed. I still want to just show silly stuff at work on my face. It happens. If you work in construction and you work in drywall, you're going to get mud on your face. Like, so just, trying to keep it fun, keep it light, but then also, not lose the soul and the personality behind it.
Yeah. I love the mud on the face pictures that you
Yeah,
post too. They're probably my favorite.
they're
Truth
hilarious.
be,
And like, literally, there are days I'm just like, really?
I like the
Really?
ones where you're all like you're sandy, like because you got the big
Yeah.
hair and you got like you're just sanding dust all over you.
Oh,
Those I think those are pretty great
clever.
too. You got involved though with build. That was a good direction. I mean, there's a bunch of
Yeah.
directions we can go from there. I didn't have the luxury of like people telling me what to do, and so I've always sort of started doing it my own way. I think it would be a tough bridge to cross if like a large company came to me and was like, "Hey, we want to buy your podcast or something," and then I would have to. I don't know that I would do it. I bring it up with Aaron and Elliot in the last episode. I bring it up with those guys. Like, I like just coming on here and being able to cuss and
Yeah.
say what I want. You know,
That's what I'm talking about. Like, where's the line between yes, we all want to make money. We want to make money off of our time. And I think
yes,
people think that social media is like, oh, it's like 5 minutes. No, it is literally a full-time job. It
yeah,
is
yeah,
not. And people don't get like the meetings, the emails, the contract negotiations, the planning, the research that goes into presenting a product. And I don't back anything
right,
I don't believe in. I'm not going to be selling you a robot vacuum for my house. Like that's not what I believe in. That's not what I started this for. So, if you come to me with the product and I don't like it, I'm not going to show it, period. Because
really.
yeah, I don't feel like that's fair. I feel like I'm not being honest. I
I
feel
think
like
if
I'm not.
somebody wants to give me 5 grand to wear their shirt on an episode, I think I'd probably do
Well,
that.
yeah, that's different. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. You know, there's a monetary value there also, but we're talking about life balance. There's aspects of running a company too, where I take a step back and I'm like, well, do I want to be doing this? Like if a large company offered me a bunch of money, well, now I'm dealing with, I'm sure
Multiples into it.
Mr. Matt Risinger deals with this on a daily basis too. What sort of projects and animals do I want to be taking on and
Yeah.
still be able to take my kid to school, have quality family time, not be on the computer all the time, like these types of things. So it's not quite as glamorous or as as social media might make it out to be. You market and advertise sort of a lot of tools. There's tools that I look at where I'm like, and then also you don't want to be a douchebag and like, you know, I use maybe you market something, you're like, it's a pretty good idea. I just don't use it. This might be great for somebody else. I'm showing how to use it, but you know, I don't use it on my own job.
Well, I
you
think
know?
being a professional drywall finisher and being in the industry for, 22 years, I know what works and what doesn't. And there have been some companies that have given me samples of things, and I'm like, no professional finisher is ever going to touch this. Like, this is stupid. Maybe it works for like a DIYer, which is fine because I do have a good reach with the DIY market and people that are
Right.
do, home improvements, which is awesome. But I'm also a professional finisher. So there are some things I'm like, I can't get behind this. Like I just, like maybe if I was there's just some things I'm like, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. So,
Yeah, I like that.
and I really try
Uh,
and always be authentic. And yeah, we use a lot of different brands. We use Columbia, Level 5, North Star, Can-Am, because they all have their spots where they really excel. So
okay,
sometimes
should we get into the nitty gritty? Like what does Lydia use? I kind of know, but what does Drywall Shorty prefer? Now, when it comes to the automatic tools, do you use just one type? Is it like just Columbia across the board, or is it like, I like this box, I like this bazooka, I like this flusher?
Honestly, it depends on how well the tools are running. So if we get something new, that one's automatically going to be the one that you're going to go to. We have had
Okay.
some rebuilt that have worked out really well that,
Right.
with the volume of work and the tools kind of get worn down, and then you don't always
Yeah.
have time to sit there and take a tube apart for 3 hours and put it back
Yeah.
together. So you go and you grab the next one that's
Yeah.
working,
Well, one
better.
advantage of being drywall shorty is that it's like, hey, Aaron, I need another tube.
Yeah, now that is something that has been amazing. Like that is very true.
Hey, Aaron, my tube's 3 months old, man. I
I
need a new cutter.
know.
I need a new cutter blade. I'm gonna send it back to you.
Seriously, well, sometimes it's like that. It'll be like, oh, that box isn't working so great. Let's just go grab the next one. And
Yeah,
like
sure. Sure.
tools have definitely been insane. And when you think about, running a business, a drywall business is still a large part of it.
Hmm.
Um, that has been amazing. Because I
Do
mean,
do you
when
make
we
money off of selling the tools like on the black market? Now, I know
um,
you're probably not getting tools and then selling them or whatever,
no,
but I mean, what do you do with all the old tools? Because I'm sure you get a lot of tools. Like,
we just keep them.
you just keep them? You have a garage full of tools. I'd love to
Yes.
see that treasure trove.
Oh, there's a trailer full of tools. There's a stack of tools in the garage, and then I have the shop, which also has a bunch of tools out in the shop. So, the nice thing is, though, sometimes we'll like grab one and take a part off of another one and swap it out if, something's wrong, like a spring's broken.
Totally.
What happened the other day? Something broke on the cutter chain, so we just grabbed another chain off of another tube. You can kind of like swap, but I mean, there's a whole box full of blades and extra parts, and we always just forget about it because it's just kind of tucked in the garage. So,
Right.
um, but yeah, the tools, I mean, God, when I first started this, I think we had to finance buying a North Star tube for like 1,700 bucks, like put it on monthly
Okay.
payments because we just didn't have the money and the funds. And the tube that we
Yeah.
were using, I mean, I think it was probably 5, 6 years old. I mean, we've had
Okay.
tools falling off jobs, had to start all over again,
Yeah.
having stuff stolen. I mean, it's not, there's money in drywall finishing, absolutely, but sometimes we don't always have that, $15,000 to invest back into tools because that stuff's expensive.
Right. So North Star was maybe your first big tool purchase.
Yeah, actually, funny thing is when let's see, we were working for my dad. Ryan decided he wanted to go off on his own. I was like, fine, we can go off on our own. We'll just, do our own bids and stuff. And
Yeah.
I think my dad had given us maybe like an old tape tech that was pretty old and it wasn't running very well. So I actually bought a whole North Star set off of Zach because they used to use North Star. So he had like a full set. He wasn't doing drywall finishing anymore. So we bought a used set, had that tube rebuilt, and it was amazing. It was so smooth. And
Cool.
then it got stolen off the job site like 2 months later.
Bummer.
I know. Like it's not always easy. I think people are like, oh, everything's so easy. It's like, no, there's been years where it's just been like, how are we going to make it this year? What are we going to
Yeah.
do? Like, we don't have money to buy new tools. The tools aren't running right, and just the stuff
Yeah.
gets stolen.
Yeah.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. Yeah. I've had, times where I borrowed money from my mom,
Yeah.
you
We've
know,
all done it.
and
Yeah.
she doesn't have any money.
I know. I know you're like
There
500
was a lot of years there where it was like, what do you do? What do you do? It's colored mud. I've heard it all, man.
I know, right?
You
I
know,
believe in this. And that's the thing. If you believe in it, it's worth it 100% to go for it.
yeah, I just didn't care. I've always been sort of naughty. Um, so yeah, hence though, from uh, non-conformity comes creativity. So like
Yeah.
what's birthed from somebody like me that just does their own thing, doesn't listen to anybody's opinion. I mean, of course there's good opinions. I've had lots of good ideas thrown at me and I've been able to create things from that. But I mean, even the Drywall podcast,
Yeah.
people were
Yeah, probably like,
Not,
are you gonna
I
interview
didn't
about
know.
this going? You're like,
I
yeah,
didn't know what would what if it would fly, or 2 years later, I certainly didn't think I'd do 100 shows,
no, it's amazing.
so it's interesting, but you never know until you try, until you do something, until you go to that show, until you like throw it out there. Steve Woodby, Steve Wessel, Woodby Drywall was on the last 2 episodes ago, and he's talking about doing like a talk show. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
do it, man.
do it.
Do it. You got to get that first one under your belt, and then you do another one, and or anything. You want to be a musician, you want to be a dancer. It doesn't matter. I think that we feel like we're limited. Part of the advantage to running your own business is that you can nurture other
Yes.
creative outlets. You know, do you find that you enjoy the production, that side of it? You kind of have to, right? Like
Yeah, so like the filming for like Build Show and then like the
yeah.
camera and microphone stuff like that. Yeah, I've gotten
Mhm.
way more comfortable with it. I pretty much just think of it as like you're a new guy on the job site or a new hire or a new tradesperson. This is what I'm going to teach you today. And then I just talk to the camera like I just be talking to somebody that I'm teaching.
Okay.
And it makes
And
it
then
like easy and makes it flow. And then, just kind of think about what points am I hitting. I usually have what I'm going to film kind of planned out for a couple days, run through my descriptions, have a good idea of how to lay it out so it's understandable.
yeah, you do. You do. I think that's why too your videos and content resonate with the audience, because it's not just drywall professionals. I think that, anyone
Yeah.
can come on and check out Drywall Shorty and be inspired to, do. That's why I love like the banjo videos and,
Yeah.
the remedial stuff that drywall finishers professionals don't really consider. But it's like, man, there's a lot of people out there that don't know you should thin down your mud. That's why Drywall Shorty's making this video, not for the dude that mixes mud every day. Duh.
Exactly. It's for the pictures I see on Reddit and someone's like, hey, how did I do taping this? And you're just like,
Yeah, and you're like, they're scooping it
no.
out of the box.
I know. You're just
It's
like,
all like hard.
your notes are
um,
gonna thick. They're gonna be sanding for
have
days.
you tried the mud skip yet? There's a lot
I
of
haven't.
videos.
I haven't. I
Uh,
have it in the garage.
You have it. Okay. I've heard a lot. I mean, I've tried it. It's pretty cool stuff. It's like one of those things where it's like, if you're like me, you gotta like really vet a product, use it.
Yes,
They're
100%.
very good for patching, but yeah, I'm curious your thoughts on the mud skip. Now, if a company comes to you and is like, hey, just want you to try this product. Are you able to make a video? Is that crossing boundaries? Is it like, hey, man, build, you guys are cool. Like, but I'm just going to make this video about Mudskip because it's like organic content. Like, are you able to do that, or is there rules?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I can do whatever I want with my content creation, especially like
Okay.
build show. I mean, there's lots of times I talk about products that no one is paying me at all for. You got to
Okay.
think there's not a ton of money in the drywall industry with marketing budgets and things like that. So, I think I showed vents the other day, like the mud and vents. That was not sponsored at all. That was just
Okay.
me just
Love
so I
those.
would say probably 95% of what I'm talking about, I'm not sponsored for. I'm not paid by a company. It's just me talking about things
Okay.
I think might be interesting to people and might be helpful.
Okay. How does it work on the other side of the spectrum? How does it work if a company comes to you and they're like, hey, we want you to do a video for this product? So then you would have to go through the build platform.
Yeah, they handle it like, but I can post it on my socials. So they would be like, this is what we're interested in doing. They would give them a rate. And then I would say, okay, I'm going
Okay.
to film now. And then most of the time I deal directly with the company. So they'll be
Okay.
like, this is what we want to see. And then I'll send in, an edit, or I'll send in what I want to post or what the video I've put together. Sometimes there's a lot of changes. Sometimes there's no changes. It really just
Okay.
depends on the company. Sometimes I'm free to do whatever I want with the companies. Like they're just like, here's our stuff.
Yeah.
Do with it what you choose. We don't really
You
care. We're hands off. We trust you.
My
Some
recommendation to
companies are
companies
like,
would be to do that. Let her just do her thing, man. She's gonna promote it how she promote, and that's you're gonna get the authenticity in
exactly.
that, you know.
When some companies, I send in something and they're like, nope, we don't like that. We want more of this or we want this. And then I'm, 7, 8 edits in and I'm just like, okay, maybe that wasn't
Yeah.
worth my time there.
And
So
I'm not making as much money on this one.
yeah, exactly. Like, Dan, this is getting a little ridiculous. Like, do you trust me to actually do what you're paying me to do, or do you want to like tell me how to be a robot for your company? And
Do you have parameters though around it's like, okay, I'm gonna make a video, I'm gonna get X amount, you got 5 edits. Like
yeah, I
that's
need to
it.
sometimes the last one build show, like I was dealing with the company myself and they jumped in. They're like, do you want us to like tell them to just forget it? And I'm like, no, I'm so far invested now. I can't not do this. And
Yeah.
sometimes it really depends on the company. Some are super chill. Clark Dietrich is amazing to work with. I love their products. I love their team.
Clark
USG,
Dietrich, what's that?
Clark Dietrich, they make straight flex.
Okay. I should
So they
know.
own
I
flex.
apologize if you're out there and you're like Nick's an idiot. He doesn't know what Clark Dietrich is. I forgive you.
Well,
And yes,
everybody
yes,
knows
I'm an
straight flex.
idiot. Everybody does know straight flex. That's for
Well,
sure.
and that's the thing. Clark Dietrich bought straight flex. So it's still straight flex. It's just
Okay.
Clark Dietrich straight flex.
Okay. Yeah, I
And
just
then
haven't done.
USG is so awesome to work with. I love working
Okay.
with USG.
Why? Why do you like working with USG?
Um, I work with Kara, and Kara, I think she and I have been working together for like 6 years now. And then there's Paige and just the females there. I went down and did the Sherwin-Williams show with them, and the group down there was amazing. Like they're just they're just super sweet. Everybody that have worked with there, they've been amazing. They just kind of let me do my own thing. Um, they're just really, really nice to work with. And I love their products. I mean, I've been using USG for 22 years. That's an easy one for me to be like, I trust this, I back it.
Yeah.
I have no problem, recommending their products. That's what I
Yeah.
recommend all the time because I know how they work. I know
Yeah.
they're successful, and I know that I can stand behind that brand 100%.
Yeah. You and I both use the +3.
Yeah, I love Plus Three. It's my favorite.
Yeah. I've used some good muds out of Canada. What do they use up
Ooh.
there? But it creates the color to be more mottled. It's weird.
Oh,
Like
interesting.
a different mud will model differently.
Oh, that's interesting.
I
That's
know
sweet.
it is. And then the mud skip too kind of turns it into like it gives it more plaster qualities. But I'm not like familiar with plaster, but then I want the people that have done plaster to try the product because it gives it the plaster qualities. So now it's like
Yeah.
you got the plaster qualities in the joint compound, you've got the color, go for it,
Yeah.
like that sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Well, because we do like a faux plaster finish with Plus Three. So we'll put it on.
You
Um,
call it the swirl.
well, we have that one, and then we have another
That's
one where you
you have
apply it
another one.
all at once. Yeah, and you just leave little cat eyes. So, you take like a 12-inch
Yeah.
knife, kind of do like half arky strokes.
We used to
Come,
call that cat eye texture up in
yeah, yeah,
Colorado.
cat eye
Or
texture. Yeah,
cat face. Cat face.
yeah, cat face.
That's funny.
Would be good for that because you'd have more workability.
It's
That'd
funny
be,
the parallels between Montana and Colorado because they would do those full wall finishes. That's
yeah,
how Fresco Harmony came, the base coat came to be. It was because we were doing, kind of like your swirl, but not without the you'll get more of the,
yeah,
uh, that's what it looks like.
action. Yeah, yeah,
Like kind of like yeah skips or whatever
yeah,
like we would call it the Santa Fe. I've heard it called the Santa
yeah,
Fe, but it's
yep,
similar to the swirl. But my boss in Crested Butte, people think that I came up with the pool trowel technique. He was using a pool trowel in
yeah. That's what we use
and
for squirrel.
yeah, do you use a 16-inch or 14-inch?
I think it depends both. We've even used smaller ones because if you use, I think it's like a 10-inch maybe or a 12, you get a little different of a pattern.
Hmm.
But usually we use the biggest one that's working right.
Right.
When we do a swirl with the pool trowels, they like to catch in the ceiling. So you'll just be going along and then all of a sudden it'll catch and like throw mud all over you because the edges will catch because we're so flat on the wall. If there's like anything, it'll catch and then it'll throw mud everywhere.
Huh.
Oh,
Interesting.
yeah. Yeah. It's not very fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you like texture?
I do. I do like texture. I like texture. I like texturing. I like all of it.
Let's go back to the tool conversation. You kind of skirted it a little bit, like, but like, which tools are you using day to day? Uh, are you still doing the North Star with the bazooka?
What are we using right now? We're using the new Columbia one we just got.
Okay.
There that came in the case. Their carbon fiber pump.
Yeah.
Holy, that thing is amazing.
Why?
It's light. It pumps so easy. Like, you know how heavy a pump is when you put it in the bucket and you're trying to carry stuff up the
Yeah.
stairs. Like getting that weight down on the pump is,
Uh,
it just
okay.
makes everything easier. It's super easy to clean because it's carbon fiber.
What
Um,
about the electric pump? Woo.
yeah, the Graco, that's great too. It's a little slow. So if you want to sit there for a couple minutes, compared to like, doing it by hand, but it's fine. They're all good. It
You
just
don't use
depends.
one. You don't use one though.
No, we have
I,
one.
you have one. Do you use it?
Yes.
You do. Okay.
Yeah,
All
I don't
right.
know where it is right now. The Ryan and Rich are actually working 4.5 hours away in Polson right now. So they're working on a big job up there and they've just been staying in a hotel up there. I think
Oh,
they're, God, 3 weeks into it now at least.
eek.
Yeah. So that's
Also,
been
how's the weather up there right now? You getting it nicer?
snowed yesterday.
Yep.
So let's see,
We had
today's,
snow on Saturday.
did you really? I feel like it's just not stopping this year. It's like snow, snow, snow.
Yeah. I mean, we don't get as much as you guys, but it probably gets old up there. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
we're ready for
Yeah.
spring. You get the mud season.
Yes, the mud season is the worst. Especially if you're
Yeah.
pouring concrete and you got to go around the house. Yeah, it's also mud
Yeah.
season in your
Well
front yard.
aware. Good
Yes.
timing, guys. Oh, I guess I won't use the front door.
That's
Ugh.
horrible. I hate that.
Concrete all
And
over the
it's
house.
like you can do
Painters
anything.
are in there sanding. I'm doing sealer in there sanding. I mean, it's
Oh
a good thing
no.
I'm not like a prima donna plaster guy because I'm like Fresco Harmony. I'm just like get it done, finish it, and so you can get away with way more,
Yeah.
but yeah, those the Christian painters and then the devil fresco guy is heaven and hell.
I think you need a new logo where you have some double horns.
Sure. A
Have a
hat.
flaming trowel.
Have a hat. Have a hat with devil flaming trowel. That's a good idea.
Yes.
I have been in talks with a company about a pool trowel.
Oh,
So,
nice. Okay, good.
Harmony pool trowel. Spoiler alert. Harmony, maybe Harmony pool trowel, but we'll see. Yeah, it's something that is kind of large, badass, but doesn't leave the black marks. It still has like
Yes.
the plaster components that will create it
Yeah.
too on the lighter colors, not leave the black marks like
Yeah,
stainless.
the iron marks. That's what we've
Yep.
always called them, is like iron or burnish marks.
Yeah. Do you use stainless or spring steel with your both knives and trowels?
Trowels are stainless. With my knives, depending on the size. So I really do love the level 5 knives. That's the one I go for all the time. Sheetrock knives are really good too. And then I have the
Yeah.
Columbia ones that I've been kind of messing around with. So those ones I don't have as much experience with yet. I
Right.
just have some of the smaller knives.
Yeah.
But for my smaller knives, 6 inch and under, they're all stainless. And then 8 to 14 are all blue steel because for me, they're softer. I can manipulate them more, I can cut my edge better, and I can pull it smoother and flatter than I can with the stainless.
Cool. I liked them. I liked the blue steel because they didn't warp. Can
Yeah.
use them
Well, you
longer.
can also, the nice thing is most of the bigger knives, you can take the tang and you can take the tang and the knife and bend it how you want it.
Oh, I like that. You call it the tang in the knife.
Yeah, like whatever the long skinny part is that holds the blade, you can take that and mess with it. So if you have one that's real sneaky, you can kind of like finicky it a little bit, or you can make
Okay.
it more curved or less curved or super straight, or there's a lot you can do with them.
I just feel like with stainless, you get that waver. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Instead of
Yeah.
a consistent bow.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, and
know,
I
I
find
don't.
I have a harder time pulling it flat. I tend to overfill with stainless.
Okay.
Blue steel, I don't have to push as hard and I get a better pull and a better finish.
Okay. And then with the trowel though, you do like the stainless.
Yeah, stainless is good for the trowel, yeah.
Why? Why?
Just a little bit stiffer. It's always just what we've bought. I don't even know if they make blue steel trowels.
Oh yeah.
Always been stainless, do they? But we just buy what the
Hmm.
local stores carry for concrete trowels.
Yeah, Kraft will make a blue steel trowel. Like I like
Oh,
Kraft,
nice.
but
Yeah.
they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, kind of just depends. It's kind of like the same thing with the tools. I just kind of use whatever's flowing the best for me that day. Like I'm not super
Sure.
nitpicky about things. Sometimes
Yeah.
I need to go buy a new knife from the store and I'm like, I don't really love that brand, but it'll do for the day.
Yeah.
Or, sometimes I pick something up and I'm like, oh man, this is my new favorite. And then it kind of goes into the rotation. So
Right.
there's no like hard or fast. I'm not like, it has to be this. It's like, what gets me to A to B with the best finish and is readily available.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you with the level 5 too as well, though. They do a pretty good job.
I like that too.
Um, what about boxes?
Boxes, they're kind of a toss-up. I mean, I tell people this all the time, like Columbia and North Star, they're more expensive, but the
Yeah.
wheels are going to be better, the housings are better. I feel like the box quality in general is better. But if you're not looking at spending $300 to $400 on a box, level 5 is great too. They still
Okay.
work great. The wheels aren't as good, some of the parts aren't as high quality, but it still
Okay.
will get the job done. And I think that's something people have to realize. Like, yeah, they're cheaper because some of the parts on them are cheaper. They might not last as long. They might need more repairs. But if you're in a jam and you're just getting started, like, yeah, I mean, it's still good.
Whitby Drywall says a box is a box is a box.
Yeah, it is.
Kind of
It's just,
agree with that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a box is a box.
What about angle tools? You use some Can-Am stuff, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, we do. I love their handles, their twist lock
Yeah.
handles, and their rollers are super good.
Why are their rollers good?
Um, They don't pull the tape. They don't bunch the tape. They don't, the way they're
Why
set
do you think that is though?
really nicely. Like, I don't know if it's the wheels or what, but they're really good.
Huh. Good design, maybe. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I know they redesigned them, I think, the last year and a half, and they're good.
Very cool. And then you have this USG shop. The whole shop's not named after USG, but now you answer or don't answer. Did they pay you to be like, hey, we want to sponsor your studio? Like we're gonna put
They did. Yep.
USG. This is the Drywall Shorty USG
Sheetrock
studio.
brand. Yep. So they
That's
did.
awesome.
Yeah. So sometimes I used to do monthly posts for them, and then they kind of moved it. When I went on to build, things kind of moved away a little bit, and then um, I still talk about their stuff all the time. Like they don't pay me for if I'm like, hey, I'm using USG or I used USG here. I just talk about it because I love it. I'm not getting paid for that, but the USG Sheetrock brand studio, yes, they do pay licensing rights for that.
Weird. And you get like a monthly kickback for calling it the USG Sheetrock Studio.
Yeah, they
Or
build
is it
their
like, okay, build that went through build
yeah,
as well.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right. How did
So those
Build get
videos
it?
are on
How
Build
did
Show.
Build get their claws into you? How did that start out?
It was
And kudos to those guys for seeing a good thing and taking
yeah,
advantage.
it was one of the guys that worked for Matt, actually. He was there, he did videographer, he was Matt's
Okay.
videographer, and then he was kind of running or kind of getting started with the Build Show network.
Is that the guy that I met in Dallas that was with you? What was his name?
No, that was Andy.
Andy. Okay, very nice
Andy.
guy.
So
Yeah.
this was Joey. So Joey's not
Okay.
with Build Show anymore, but Joey
Okay.
reached out. He's like, we want you to join Build Show. And I'm like, okay, okay.
Okay.
Then
Joey saw the talent.
Joey did see the talent. Yep. And actually, I think how it happened is I had just filmed for MT Copeland. I had just done that course. And one of the guys with MT
What's
Copeland,
what's NT Copeland? Sorry.
it's MT, so M as
Oh,
in
MT.
MEMS. Yeah. I did a whole drywall series for them, God,
What is that?
4 or 5 years ago. It's an online course that you can take. So they have how to read blueprints.
Okay.
There's a painting course. There's how to build a deck. So they were just
Cool.
trying to take, trades things and then turn
Yeah.
them into like
Smart.
masterclass style classes.
Build what they MT Copeland reached out to build to.
No, no, a guy that worked with MT Copeland used to work for Matt Reisinger. And I don't know if that's how they found me, is just like through the grapevine with them talking, just I don't know. I have no idea, but the Bill reached
Cool.
out and I was like, yeah, let's do
Yeah, I would love to get Matt Risinger on here and talk and just like go into the history of like the build network. Like that's very
yeah.
interesting to me. I
Yeah,
think that would be a good
he's
one.
done a good job taking it and building it into something instead of just sitting on it and just having just this YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the challenge. I mean,
Yeah.
he's sort of created scalability around a thing that's
Yeah.
it's challenging to do, as you know. Like, it's, okay, you have all this. I mean, you give somebody that doesn't know anything about social media and give them 1 million followers, and like
Yeah.
they're not gonna do anything with it.
No, no, they won't know how to scale it or what. I don't
They
even
would.
know what to do with it.
It's challenging. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like,
There's
I don't
like
know what the heck I'm doing.
yeah, it's challenging. You have to be uncomfortable a lot.
You do. And I think you kind of learn to like where what am I trying to say there? You have to set boundaries for yourself. You can't let it become who you are. And I think that that's something that, people get into social media and they start posting and they start getting all these mean comments and rude comments or
Yeah.
people, sending them hateful comments or,
Yeah.
you know, everybody judging them for what they're doing. And like, you
Yeah.
can't let it like
Yeah.
make you who you are. You still need to be you. You still need to go and have pride in what you're doing. You still need to, be comfortable and being like, yeah, you know what? That's me. You don't like it? I really don't care. I don't like it the way that you do it, but I'm not going to like be mean to you or rude to you. And you really have to have a separation of this is like a business. I'm going to run this like a business and I'm going to produce, there's dog hair everywhere.
I
I'm
know.
going to produce content. The other one came
The
over.
o the only people that are going to see it are people that watch the YouTube video. Very few people.
I'm
Very
just trying to
few.
not get it in my nose.
Uh,
But like for me, I was like, I'm gonna run this as a business. I'm gonna make a goal. When I first started, I'm gonna post every single day. And I'm gonna take it and then from there, I'm gonna like grow from here and grow from there. And then you kind of have to move, of course, with the social media platforms, what's doing well, but you really cannot get your self-worth out of what you're giving to social media because it
I
will
love
not.
that.
You have to
Yeah.
eat. It will crush you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good pearl. We're not to the pearl of wisdom yet, but we could maybe we'll resurrect that when we get to the pearl the pearl of wisdom. This has been a pretty good episode. I've asked a lot of like just sort of generic questions that I think people might enjoy. If you listen to my first interview with Lydia, we sort of go into your background. How did you get into the drywall trade? Like that whole stuff. But I love the tool conversation. I love this build conversation. Is there anything that you plan on doing with the USG space that you haven't done yet? Do you have plans for the future? Are you going to stick with build? Are you going to move away from that and make your own, corporation? What you got? Anything in the
Yeah.
pipe that you can talk about?
Um, right now it's kind of just figuring out everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing I would really love to touch on, and I keep talking about this, and I really just, sorry, they're being noisy. Um,
Okay.
Stop, guys, go lie down. Go lie down.
Do you want to lift
Go.
one of them up? Can we see one of them?
Come here.
Lift. I want to see this pup.
Okay,
Oh my goodness.
that's me back.
Look, we almost got both of them in there.
I know she almost, come on, come here. Come here. Oh, she's
Oh
happy.
no. Oh no.
There's Tia. There's Tia.
Let me
Oh,
go.
crazy.
That's pretty
Um,
adorable.
One thing I really want to start hitting on, just because there have been so many natural disasters, is I would love to do something in the studio where I'm showing you how to do a flood repair.
Okay.
So we snap line, we do a repair up to, 4 feet,
Okay.
take all that nasty drywall out, patch it back in, and kind of just do like step by step. Like, this is how we start. This is what you need to do. This is how you blend in your joints. This is how you want to hang your board. Just kind of some stuff like that that would help people.
Okay.
So, if they're not able to find somebody for 2 years to come in and fix their house, they can approach it comfortably and get it done. Because, I mean, you know how it is. You can't always find somebody to get there in 2 weeks or a month, and there's people
Yeah.
that have houses with kids and families, and they're displaced and they need to be able to fix their houses. So,
Yeah.
something to kind of give back, and that I'd love to do. I've been talking about doing that
You
for
could go to a disaster place and do
I
one
would love to do that.
and then film it. That would be really proactive and
Yeah.
sort of, like a donation, but still at
Yep.
the same time, it would be good content.
There with the drywall community, where a bunch of us go and we've, volunteer our time for a week and
Absolutely.
try and
That'd be
get,
cool.
anyway,
You
yeah, go
you
ahead.
like those pups pretty well, huh?
Yeah, they're good dogs.
Yeah.
They're good dogs.
How long have you had those dogs?
Um, Ava, we got when she was a puppy. So she's turning 8 this year, I think. And
Okay.
then Tia, the white one we got from the shelter, and she's the same age as Ava. So I think we've
Okay.
had her for 6 years. Oh, is she?
Tosca.
What kind of dog is she?
She's a Labrador.
Oh my, are you serious? Oh,
Tosca, come here.
I want a Dane so bad. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Well, she looks kind of like a. Come here. Oh my God.
Oh, she's so cute. Oh my goodness. She's a sweetheart.
She's a nervous Nelly. Look at her.
Is
Look at
she?
her.
Oh,
But yeah,
she's
when she
sweet.
meets she meets people. All right, get out of here. Get out of here.
She has kind of that Dane face from the side, but then she looks like a lab too.
She looks like Santa's little helper from The Simpsons. She's
She got
weird
like
looking.
ears.
She's got like, yeah, she looks kind of like a greyhound, and then she's tall, and then she has like a lab face. And
Cute.
there is a page called Danes of Instagram.
Oh, cute.
And,
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
yeah, they all look like her. It's so weird. It's such a weird breed, but she was like a rescue, and
Yeah.
she had like she was the last one, and I was like, we're not getting a big dog, and we go down to the shelter, and this
Okay.
dog's got like feet this big. I'm like,
Oh my
oh
gosh.
boy. But I got Tosca, and then I have one cat. So
Oh,
Tesla,
nice.
Tesla and Tosca, they're pretty
Tesla.
good. Yeah, they're pretty good buds. Generally, Tesla comes in and meows. Tesla's the one
Oh,
that bugs during the interview, but we haven't seen him yet.
cute.
Yeah, very cool. One question would be, and you can answer or not. I don't want to get anything delicate, but like, do you have a contract with Build? What if like somebody wanted to come in and scoop up Lydia? Is that offer on the table, or do you have like loyalty to Build? How does that work?
Well, the way that contracts are written in almost all of them with companies I've worked with,
Okay.
is 90 days notice.
90
So
days. Okay, so you're
Build will
working with you're
actually,
working with them. They take care of you. They've been great. And no sign of leave. But if like I was a company, Lydia's got awesome content. She's a million plus on Facebook. Like we want to scoop her up. That's not off the table.
No, I didn't, I think we always have to think of it as a business too. Like, what's the best?
Absolutely.
Like, I love Build Show. I love Matt. I love everybody there. But
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
kind of crazy opportunity, I mean, they would be 100% behind it too. They'd be like, yeah, absolutely, you go for that. Because the
Sure.
way that they have the contract written is it's very favorable to me as a contributor. They're not
Okay.
trying to like take advantage of me. They're not trying to be like, this is our content
Great.
and own it. They're very open with everything and they've been amazing to work with. And, the videos that I post on there, I have access to use for my own YouTube channel after a certain amount of time. So, kind of just endless content to take and then put on YouTube that they've produced. So it's very, very favorable to the content creator.
Okay. And there's probably not, not a ton of people, beating down your door in the, drywall industry. I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, this is a challenging space. It's not, even if you're at the top of
Pretty
your
niche.
game, like drywall short. The way I look at it is like, well, these influencer women, and men, they're still doing drywall. They're not making a
Yeah.
million dollars. Like,
No, no,
if they're
no.
doing drywall, if they're
Still
doing
doing drywall.
drywall,
Like there's money in drywall, but there's not, woo,
well,
I'm
more
driving
so,
Ford,
there's
honey.
money in it. There's money in influencing, but not the kind of money that you can make doing drywall. Like, to
No, and
be,
that's the tricky part. Yeah. And I
yeah,
think that's kind of been the balance too of, okay, I still need to work. I still need to keep things rolling. I still need to be on the job site. I still need that for income, but then I also have these commitments and I got to
yeah,
stop. I have to take, a couple of hours to film and then I'm losing time on the job. So you have to kind of make it to where, where does it make sense between me stopping what I'm doing to film for you to make the money off the there's a lot more that goes into it. And I think people are like, oh, it must be nice. You're just making free money. It's not free money at all.
right, right.
There's a lot that goes into it.
hmm Yeah, I got about, I don't know, 8 to 12 hours per episode, anywhere
Well,
from
I think
nine to,
everybody sees this polished, finished thing and they're like,
yeah.
oh man, that looks so easy. And then you actually start getting into,
hmm
you know, podcasts, videos, editing,
hmm
reels, some of these things, like they just get annoying, honestly.
Yeah.
Instagram, like trying to like fit the little things in sometimes to the time things with the music, and then you're an hour into it, it's still off, it's not saving it right. You're just like want to like freaking throw your phone.
No, you don't edit like in a different platform and then drop it into these other platforms?
Most of the time, honestly, I try and keep it as easy as possible. And I will just set my phone up in a windowsill, film what I'm
Yeah.
doing,
Yeah.
and then edit down 30 seconds of what I just filmed.
Yeah, but you edit it right in like the editing
Mhm.
the photo.
Sometimes,
Because TikTok, people edit in TikTok, but
yep,
then you use, and that's how you get the audio for TikTok. But you
yep,
can't use that, like I can't edit audio in Instagram and then use it in TikTok. It doesn't work.
yeah, yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah.
But
So if
you
it's
don't have
something,
like a platform you edit in.
no, I usually just go off like photos off my phone.
Okay.
Or sometimes I'll use one that's called Filmer. That one is kind
All
of
right.
nice if I have like a
Yeah.
bunch of clips I need to stick together for like a
Okay.
long video. But I know there's
Interesting.
better out there. I just use what I know how to use that makes it simple.
And then Build has a crew that they'll send and
Yeah.
film so
Yep.
that
So I
they
just pay
they cut
Rob for
all
that
the
out. Yeah. And then they do
okay.
all that. Yeah.
All right. We're getting a little bit more of a picture of Lydia's world. We got dogs. We got dogs. She does do drywall. She's a normal drywall finisher, just like the rest of us. She has preferences that she likes to use for tools, and she works her ass off. And I'm uh, very honored that you came onto the show once again, and I'm honored to know you as a person. Now we can do a pearl of wisdom. And I forget, you had this like gem that you were firing off like before. What was it?
Oh,
What were we talking about?
you need to get your self-worth from yourself, not from social
Oh,
media.
God, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. That's a freaking pearl right there.
Yeah, well, you can't. Well, when I first started this and then things started to kind of blow up on Facebook, I was like, dang, people are mean. I mean, there is stuff on, I had a couple of videos on YouTube that were shorts that, had a couple million views. And some of the comments just about like my appearance, how I look, I was doing everything wrong. And you can't sit there and take that stuff. Because if you do, and it did affect me pretty negatively for a while, I was just like, man, I suck. Or like, don't even show me in the video. I don't even want my face. I don't want anything. I just show me.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I want to show. And it kind of got to this point where I was like, this is hard. I feel like really anxious about anything that has anything to do with me. So like let's just show a close up of the tools. Let's just show, my hands. Like don't
Right.
at all.
Yeah.
And then I kind of got to the point where I was like, you know what? Screw it. Like I'm just gonna do what I do. I'm gonna be me and I'm just gonna stop reading the negative stuff and just do my job and do what I know how to do and keep being a drywall finisher.
Do you know that comes through on your videos just from my perspective? And I appreciate that. And I admire it. Like on your, you don't, because I'll hear things on the side too. Oh, this and that. Everybody gossips and you hear stuff and all the things. But from
Yeah.
my perspective, I'm always like, oh, Drywall Shorty, you know, that's what you see is what you get. Like she's legit. That's my,
The
and
easiest
that's
thing you can do is be yourself.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I've
there.
always thought of it. Like there's no point in trying to be something I'm not. There's no point in pretending. There's no point in making this false persona. Like what number one, why would anybody be a fake drywaller? Why would you ever choose that? I'm gonna
That
be
is
a
it.
drywall influencer.
Yeah,
Okay. I have no
that
experience in drywall, but I'm gonna be like, this isn't something you can just
bad
jump
idea.
into experience with. I know, right?
No, you're a drywaller, and then maybe you can influence a little bit. Don't
Exactly.
don't do it the other way. Like,
Oh no,
it's
it doesn't
recipe
work.
for disaster.
Yes, 100%. And people will be like, oh, she's so fit because she has her hair down. And I'm just like, had it my whole life. It's not like
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
started out
Hey,
yesterday.
God gave me these beautiful locks, man. I can't help it.
It's so weird. Just like the thought process sometimes. I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
yeah, this all just grew in yesterday. I have no
Uh-huh.
idea how to handle it or manage it. It's
Yeah,
just,
yeah. No, no, you hold on to that feminine side. You're
I do.
a beautiful woman and you let that you display that. And I think that women should be able to, and that should be okay. Should go
Yeah, you
without saying.
can be feminine and work in construction. You don't have
That's
to
right.
lose that side of yourself.
That's
Like,
right.
you can show up and I wear makeup to work. Always have, always will. I have
Hmm.
for the last 22 years.
Yeah,
It's not changing. It makes me feel better,
that's right.
especially if I have to run an errand or go into a store, at lunchtime. If I'm dirty in my work clothes, but I feel more put together
Yeah.
as a person, so then I feel like walking in, I feel more confident in who I am. I
Hmm.
mean, it's not for everybody. I don't care if you wear makeup or not. For me personally, it's
Yeah.
a personal decision. And it's a decision to wear my hair down because I like
I
how it
bring clothes. I bring work clothes to
yeah,
the
change
job
clothes.
and I change out of them so that I don't look like a hack when I go to that next presentation or
Yeah.
for a client or if I have to meet somebody at the office.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get
It
that.
makes you feel more put together, which then makes you feel more confident. And then
That's
you
right.
feel like you're walking into the situation like, okay, I'm walking into this presentation. I don't have dirt on my pants. I'm not like wiping stuff on my hand, like off my hands. I can shake that person's hand. My hands are clean. There's
That's
just
right.
little things that, can make a big difference in,
Yeah.
how you feel about yourself and how you present yourself.
Yeah. And you don't need to explain yourself to somebody,
Yeah.
for how you do, how you be, what you're up to. You don't need to explain yourself. I like that.
Yeah. So
Lydia Crowder, aka Drywall Shorty, with us on the 130th episode of the Drywall Podcast. And shout out to Tape Tech AMES came up big. They're going to be sponsoring 4 months of the Drywall Podcast.
that's awesome. Congratulations.
No, well, no. Shout out to AMES and like Tape Tech for like taking advantage of a good thing, just like Bill did.
Yes.
Kudos to them and great products and stuff coming down the line from those guys. And again, too, like I meet the back end people. You mentioned Cara and Paige. I haven't met them. I'm sure they're great. But like you meet these like sort of back end people with
They're
these
all
companies.
awesome.
Super cool. Like I love the marketing people. Like they're like so cool to talk to, and we can
Everybody's
talk about.
awesome.
Yeah, everybody's cool. Of course you're going to meet people that aren't, but the farther I get into this industry, the more I'm just really enjoying it. It's super
Yeah,
cool.
I know it's super fun. It's amazing.
Cool. All right. Well, this will drop soon, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, man. It was good talking to you.
Yes, you too, always. Hit me up. We'll do this more often.
Yeah, we're gonna do a project. I just talking to a dude from Idaho that's doing like a whole house in fresco. Like he's pretty close
Ooh,
to you. He knew about you, but like I don't not well, but like he knew of you.
yeah.
Guy named Logan
Oh,
Davis out of Idaho. There's a
nice.
smattering of Montana people up there that we know.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
It's a good area.
It
I would
is.
love I would love to come up and see your studio and do a wall. Like that would be fun.
Yeah, it'd be
That'd be really
super.
fun. Yeah. All right. Well, you have a good rest of your day and we'll talk soon.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Nick.
All right. Bye. Huge shout out to Lydia for being on the Drywall Podcast today. Great interview, man. I'm so glad you came, and I'm super grateful, and I hope we get to talk again very soon. I'd also like to give a warm Drywall Podcast bear hug to our newest sponsor, TapeTech. Thank you so much for sponsoring the Drywall Podcast in the month of May. And we're highlighting the T-RAXX system. That's T-RAXX system that is exclusive to TapeTech and available through AMES, All-Wall, West Tech. The rack system is just $149, and when paired with the stack pack boxes, you've got the most compatible pro-grade storage solution on the market. Also, it's compatible with TapeTech Level 5 Columbia Drywall Master AMES. That's kind of a cool feature. Bottom line, if you're carrying ATF tools, you should be carrying them in a T-RAXX system. Also, if you are living under a rock and you're not following the TapeTech social media pages, head over there, hit the search button, type in TapeTech, and go follow them for more information on the T-RAXX system and all kinds of other cool stuff. Guests of the Drywall Podcast will receive a sweet swag bucket from our friends at CSR just for coming on the Drywall Podcast and telling their story. If you'd like to come on the Drywall Podcast, you can email me directly at info@frescoharmony.com. I would love to hear from you. Tune in next week as we have Logan Davis out of Idaho on the 131st episode of the Drywall Podcast. It is a fantastic episode. He's a contractor, he's a plasterer, he's a drywaller, he does Fresco Harmony. It's super sweet, so tune in for that. I hope you all have an amazing weekend, and remember, keep drywalling.